and a very warm welcome to the Uliza podcast with me, Leanjo Kimaina, and in studio I'm with
Satom Gor.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode, which is the challenges facing the youths in Kenya. Thank you for joining us. I'm so pleased to see that you have taken your time to join us.
So one of the challenges the youths are facing right now in Kenya is high rate of unemployment and underemployment. This is a pandemic that has happened over the ages of time.
Mm-hmm.
Our dads used to cry about the same thing, but times are changing and we are modernizing the old system. The things that we used to think that could be done in the offices, Corona pandemic showed us they can be done in the house.
Home, yeah.
So for those youths who are not employed, these are youths who lack awareness, digital awareness. And digital awareness, I won't blame the government that much. Because if you are able to watch this, already you are digital literate.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't be crying about unemployment. Any youth watching this shouldn't cry about unemployment. But it's a crisis we are facing as a country. You see?
Yeah.
So if you have a phone, I can give you a very simple solution. If you are at home seated somewhere and have a phone, already your circumference has things to sell. Just sell them digitally. That's employment. You have to create employment for your own self.
Because everything nowadays is just digital.
Everything has gone digital.
Everything
has gone digital. So it's rushed now because there's another competitor who is coming so fast in that digital platform, which is AI.
Yeah.
Before it gets and it catches up with us.
Before it replaces everything.
Before it replaces us completely. Let's rush there. That's why.
Okay, about underemployment. How do you feel about the challenge of underemployment among the youth? They have good skills, professional skills, but then the departments of jobs they get or the jobs they get, they underqualify them. Mm-hmm. They get jobs that maybe are suited for people with less qualification that they have, and they have really good qualifications, but the jobs are not there.
Yes, the political system of third world countries or Africa, it is engulfed by nepotism, corruption. Those are some of the challenges that we are facing. Nepotism, corruption, and it doesn't matter whether you're qualified in a certain field or area for you to be employed. It doesn't matter. The thing that matters is, who do you know? Unajua nani?
Mm-hmm.
Na kama hakuna mtu unajua, my friend.
Anza kutafuta mtu sasa.
Anza kutafuta mtu. And that's where I always say, your net worth is in your network.
True.
You see?
True. Mm-hmm.
And stop waiting. As a youth, stop waiting for employment. Start creating employment.
Kutafuta.
And another thing we should teach to our fellow youths is, let's empower each other. Let's not wait for employment. Let's empower each other. And the only way to empower each other is by sharing the little knowledge we have. Like currently, what we are doing right now is creating our own employment. We are working digitally. It doesn't matter what you do on these digital platforms.
Mm.
As long as you've tapped a niche that can give you money, that's all that matters. You see?
Yeah.
The only thing you can't do digitally in mjengo.
Really?
But again, in the US, mjengo is being replaced by 3D printers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You see? So everything is going digitally.
Oh God.
Everything is going digital. So I'm sorry for the youths in this country. But if you don't take the initiative in your hands and rethink about how you have to rediscover yourself. Rediscovering yourself. Because the moment you are crying, I'm not employed or I'm underemployed, you are only dependent on one skill.
True. Mm.
Maybe you went to school to learn some catering course. The only thing you know is to cook. Don't do whatever you went to school to study.
Well, you can do it, but you can also improve on skills and get something better to do.
And that's why I'm telling you to rediscover yourself. Because umeenda umesomea kupika upati kazi. Utakuwa unangojea tu job.
Hapana.
Alafu unalilia serikali saidia. No, go back to the drawing board, rediscover yourself, rediscover what are the skills I had before I went to school. Use those skills. If it's your beauty, use your beauty. Be a model or something. Be an influencer or something. Just find a way to get out of poverty as a youth. The end goal is getting out of poverty. It doesn't matter whether you are employed or not.
I understand that, but I can connect that with economic inequalities. That is also a challenge, right?
Yes, of course.
Or obviously the different classes of economies among us is also going to disrupt how we as the youth, we partake these works, we'd want to look for work. Maybe some of us have not been exposed to learning about taxes, about loans. Some of us have not been exposed in handling and management of businesses, but there are those people whose parents have made sure that is a priority for them. So how we handle the economy will not be the same. This is also a challenge affecting us. Let's talk about that.
Of course, the dynamics of the economy is changing. And there was the economy of our fathers. There was the economy of our grandfathers. And there's the economy of today. So if you can't adapt to changing trends, you'll forever complain.
It's all about adapting.
It's all about adapting.
Inequalities.
It's all about adapting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about adapting. And everybody, I believe every youth has a skill. Everybody has a skill. Everybody has a talent. Mm-hmm. You see?
Well, not specifically talent, but skill. Let's say skill.
Let's say skill.
Some have talent and skills. Others have talents. Others have skills. Skills is the basic and priority.
That skill is the only thing that will earn you a living.
Yeah.
Because if someone needs that skill, someone needs your service. We are in a world of 7.9 billion people.
There's always someone looking for somebody.
Looking for that skill, specific skill. So there's a challenge that the youths are facing, but it's not really a challenge.
It's not a challenge once they become exposed.
Once they become literate.
Literate to it.
Literate in terms of once they get modernized. Let me say that.
But I feel as if the youths know that they need these skills for them to be out there, but they do not know how to portray themselves or get these jobs out here. Wengi wanasoma, wengi wanataka kuwa na skills mingi sana lakini.
And it goes back to that point. Your net worth is your net worth.
And it's still not easy for you to get this network. You still have to work for the network.
I don't think you have to work for the network.
Why? You just go meet people.
Ever.
Always.
Ever mwenye anajituma.
Kujituma ni ebu eleza kujituma.
Be good at socializing. Be good at going outside there.
And you also need to know where you're going.
Of course, you have to have a target. Eyes on the prize.
Always.
Eyes on the prize. You have to have a target.
That is so. That is nice. What you've explained is very much understandable. Mental health problems. In the youth of Kenya, today we have seen very many suicides. The last case of suicide was of the girl who committed suicide at KICC, and there have been many others. That is also a challenge affecting the youth in Kenya. Let's talk about how it happens and why it happens, and also what we can do for us to avoid that.
Now you see, mental health is not just a crisis in Africa. In fact, Africa is even good at it.
At handling it.
Yeah. Because we've been brought up in hardship. The few cases you hear about, those are just few cases.
There are many we haven't heard of.
You see, but mental breakdown or mental challenges, the people facing this thing, most of them are introverts.
Or they have made to be introverts. They have been made to be introverts.
Of course, the moment you are made to be introvert, that means you don't have friends anymore. You dropped everyone. Yeah. But again, it goes to you. Nobody's there to help rescue you. Nobody has the responsibility to take care of you. You have the responsibility to take care of yourself.
So how will you take care of yourselves? Drowning in mental issues is not an.
What are the things that are causing mental issues for the youths currently? If you are asked that, what are the things causing mental breakdown? Love, relationships, monetary,
it's
jobs.
well, all that is all that comes down to money.
Money.
Yeah.
Others for love, you know.
Only love haina money hapo.
Mapenzi ni tamu. Wao wanacheza na mapenzi. But mayouth wengi wanajiua juu ya mapenzi. Boys, not girls. Boys. But pesa in general inafanya watu wanahangaika
sana. Kila mtu anahangaikia pesa.
Na ndani ya hiyo solution ya pesa tushawapatia hapo mwanzoni. Pesa, ukitafuta pesa utapata pesa. It is everywhere. It is abundant. Everywhere. Money is everywhere. Ukitoka utapata makanga anahesabu pesa hapo nje. Ukitoka kwa makanga mtu anauza switi hapo nje anahesabu pesa. Ukitoka kwa mtu wa switi mtu anaomba bega anahesabu pesa hapo kwa pole. Yani money is everywhere. This is something that is everywhere. But now aligning yourself with the frequency of getting it is the problem. There's where the youth should be taught. You see? And I think we lack people mentoring the youths in how to handle these situations.
As a youth, I'd say that talking to a person, you will never expect the person you're talking to give you a solution. You need a place to empty whatever you're feeling. Kwa sababu inaweza kuwa si pesa inakusumbua, but nyumbani stress. You know, there are people who are mistreated wherever they come from, either by friends or by family, or even at their workplaces. But if you have a person you can talk to, hata kama si therapist, we say that therapists are very expensive, and you have money. If you can manage to get a therapist, good for you, and you use him or her well. But if you get a person who you can talk to about your problems and they listen in and be there for you, I think that will relieve them of their stresses and their mental health issues than being alone and trying to curb it all on their own. I have a story. I had a friend back in primary school, and tukaka like 5-6 years bila kuongeleshana. And then this one time I got a contact of my very same classmate and asked them about the girl. Oh, how is Diana? How is she? And then I was told, oh, she died. She committed suicide. And then I knew that must have been stress, because they didn't have any money problems. She went to a very good school. So it's just her stress. And I felt so bad. And I always tell people, talk to me or talk to someone. Let them just hear what you're facing. You know? Ndio usiende tu alafu tunabaki tukishangaa, what? Alikuwa sawa tu jana. You know? Yeah, so on education, please.
Education is a challenge.
Yeah, it can be a challenge among the youth. How is it a challenge among the youths? The quality and also high cost of education.
But high cost of education, this is a challenge to the parents now.
Doesn't affect the youth in any way?
It affects them, but it affects mostly their parents. Because 90% of the parents can't afford the Kenyan system of education. 90%. Education is so expensive. So this is a challenge that I don't think we will overcome right now, unless we kick out the current government.
And what is even there to say that the government that we'll expect to put in after this one will even make education better?
We just have to take power on our hands. But what I think, education, for me, education shouldn't be a determining factor for life.
For life.
Because you can be educated, even fools get educated.
Yeah.
Even fools. But the only thing you need is a little enlightenment. You know how to do arithmetic? Yes. You know how to communicate? Yes. That's education enough for me. Because You will have a degree, but this degree might not even help you in life.
Exactly. Yeah. Many people who are out there stranded have degrees.
They have degrees, but it might not even help you in life. So me, education is not a determining factor for life. I just need basic education. If I knew I would be where I am today, I wouldn't have gone even to secondary school. You see?
Mm-hmm.
But I wasted a lot of time in school. I should have started business at a very young age. Ningeuza mturai mjini, ningeuza manyanya, I would be very rich right now. You see?
We don't have the basics. We don't have the basic skill education we need, but we have basic academic skills, which is then, that is what is sensitized hapa Kenya.
Yes, but you see now that the education system is the thing that is making you more poor.
Yeah, umesoma, unamaliza shule wewe tu umesoma, you haven't done anything.
It's making you even more poor.
Yeah.
Haikufundishi kufanya biashara, haikufundishi kuhandle pesa yako, haikufundishi kutafuta pesa. Juu watu wanaenda shule kutafuta nini? Watu wanaenda shule watoke wapate employment.
Tunaenda shule, tunatumia pesa mingi sana kwenda shule, ndio tumalize shule, tupate kazi ya kuturudishia hiyo pesa, which in most cases don't even happen.
But most people die before even finishing paying their parents.
Okay, I'm sorry for laughing. I am so sorry for laughing, but yeah, that is so sad. Mm-hmm.
So that's not a challenge for the youth should be facing.
Cost of education is not a challenge for them.
It's not a challenge for them.
Tumetoa education. So right now, let's discuss the lack of political participation. We know that here in Kenya, the largest percentage of population is the youth. So how is it a challenge for the youth while they don't participate in politics?
If you were in Kenya this year, you kind of saw a revolution. Well, some sort of a revolution.
Let me tell you something. I felt it. And I felt that, yes, we now understood that we have to take part in politics. But it wasn't there then. Then politics ilikuwa ya wazazi. Huyu mzazi alisema hii ndavutia huyu nini. But not until this year that we saw us engaging in the constitution. Have you ever seen us reading that? No. We were so engaged in knowing what the finance bill entailed. But that is because we were told of the consequences that will happen if we do not go through it and see what it entails. Ni sisi tutaumia as the youths.
But now you see, political ignorance by the youths it's what has led us here.
Over the years. Yeah.
You see, we can be blaming our parents. We will hide their IDs on the election days and all that. But our political illiteracy is what has started with us. Okay, it started with our parents when they were youths. But now you see our parents were not so much exposed. Yeah. But now we are exposed. The internet has come. We are one community. We are one community. And the incidences of this year taught us one thing. Taught us that if we come together as a youth, we can really change the political dynamics of this country.
We can.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Another problem that came up with that thing is that some youths became beneficiaries of it.
Mm-hmm. Explain that to me and to the audience. To explain here.
You see, when all these things was happening, a few individuals became a little bit famous with it.
Yeah.
And we thought they could be our representatives.
Yeah, and be on our side.
And be on our side.
That we need to be taken care of.
At the end of the day, we realized these guys were just skimming their way up to power. Mm-hmm. And they're all eating up.
And that is the problem.
That's a challenge with us youths.
Well, is it youths or is it everyone that we expect to be good leaders to us?
But now you see, we expected the old people to be good leaders, which they failed.
No,
we tried. We brought our own people.
They showed the same thing.
The same thing. You see?
I'm pretty disappointed.
I'm also disappointed in us. But how will we do this? It's by having a few martyrs. Martyrs accept money. No, the people you see on TV, those are not martyrs. The martyrs are, some of them died during that time.
That's why I'm saying we already have them. I don't think we need
The
anymore.
people you see on TV, these people did not even go for these demonstrations. These people are at the back of the streets, TikToking and doing all these things. These are social media freaks that have become famous. The real individuals that were facing the demonstrations haven't been given a year to anyone.
They haven't even been seen.
They haven't even been seen. They were seen in magazines. They were seen in gazettes.
Maybe even those that we saw were not the actual ones that were really fighting for it. They are the ones that the media managed to capture.
Capture it.
Yeah.
But now even the captured ones, they are nowhere to be seen.
True.
The captured ones, really revolting. They all vanished. They disappeared from vicinity. The people that we are seeing taking center stage, these people are social media mediocres.
But in as much as they were there, I feel as if they were still there for their audiences.
Mm-hmm.
They mobilized people for them because it reached a point and that just stopped.
Now this should be an eye-opener for Kenyans, for all the youths, not to follow the social media freaks, but to engage themselves on real action. Come 2027, politics is not going anywhere. Politics will be there. Are we going to follow the social media freaks, or are we going to fight for our rights? Are we going to come outside there and fight for our rights? Because if we don't fight for our rights as the youth, these old people will keep ruling us for ages and ages and ages.
True.
You see,
Yeah.
We'll keep complaining about education system. We'll keep complaining about corruption. We'll keep complaining about all these things. But another question we should ask ourselves, what change will we bring? What difference will we bring if we take power? Will we be the same?
Will we?
That's another
Will
question.
we be
That's
the same?
another $1 million question. Because we've seen from the predecessors that we never change. We are just the same as these old people. In fact, we are so greedy. We are so greedy that it's an opportunity. We are opportunists. Let me say that. If Tom becomes a mouthpiece of the youth, I will only think about my stomach. When I'm full, you guys can go to hell. So this is a challenge that I don't think we will deal with it right now. Unless they prove me wrong in 2027. The Kenyan youth prove me wrong in 2027. It's not that far.
Yes.
2 more years.
2 more years.
So you guys come prove me wrong. Come prove me wrong. I'm watching. I'm waiting.
Political participation. Let us unite because Kenya ni yetu. Haiendi mahali. We are the larger percentage and we need us to make our Kenya. Sindio?
And also prevent your poor brothers, your broke brothers from taking political freebies. From taking political freebies. Pesa ndogo ndogo watu betray.
Kwa sababu hiyo
Refrain from that.
imekuwa the norm.
The norm.
Everywhere.
Which means nothing is gonna change. Mm-hmm. Our kids will face the same system.
Yeah.
Our grandkids will face the same system. Mm-hmm. If we don't change it right now. Already we've lost a couple of lives. Will we disappoint them just like that?
No. The fact that they lost their lives for us, we have to prove ourselves to them.
But wait 2027. I want to see what Kenyans will do. I'm yet to see. Personally,
politics had been my thing back in the day. I was so much into politics. Mm-hmm. And then since my secondary school, it all died. Mm-hmm. I no longer wanted myself to be associated with anything politics. Mm-hmm. But I promised myself, come 2027, I'd sweat myself out on that line.
Were you in the demos? Did you participate? Were you there?
One day.
Oh, just for a day. Actually, you were there every day.
Wengine wetu tulifungiwa nyumbani. If you were not there, tungeenda every day. But I went for one day and it was very good and hectic.
It was good because you were in the crowd and watu walikuwa wanafanya social media.
No.
Ulipigwa tear gas? Nyinyi mlikuwa watu wa kujaza crowd.
Tulitokea in masses. That's what we agreed on. Tutokeleze in masses.
Take over the government.
Haiko hivyo.
Ilikuwa hivyo. That's the only. Aya, mshatokea in masses, alafu what next? Muimbe hapo, Ruto must go, Ruto must, alafu what next? Angewasikia.
Angetusikia.
Asante. That's why we had to storm the parliament.
Okay.
That's why we had to do whatever we did. And next election we'll do even worse. Next election we will do even worse.
What do you mean worse? I thought it will be better.
No. Revolutions are not, power is not changed by just
By pampering.
In countries where revolutions have really happened,
Live action and pain.
It doesn't come easily. Remember, if we don't change the system, even our great grandkids will fall a prey for this system.
Yeah.
These are it's like I don't know how to put it, but these are an eye opener for the youths. If you don't want your kids to complain about unemployment, if you don't want your kids to complain about inequalities, corruption, and all this, start registering right now for a national ID. Take as many IDs as possible. But they have already skimmed their way in charging IDs.
Yeah.
You see?
Too much.
There's another system again wameintroduce. Hawataki tena tuchukue ID tuwapige nayo. Which means we have only one option. We still have to go back to the streets.
We still have to go back to the streets.
See?
Oh, once upon a time.
Now you pay to be a Kenyan. Imagine now you have to pay to be a Kenyan.
It was once free, but now we have to pay.
You have to pay to be a Kenyan.
Only could replace the ID. Right now you have to pay.
Yes.
You have your right to be a Kenyan, but now you still have to pay to be identified.
It expire after 10 years. So you need two terms.
Mimi si Mkenya tena.
Wewe si Mkenya, wewe anza ku-apply to country ingine, unaweza kuwa Sudanese huko. So if we don't fight this impunity as youth in 2027, my friend, we are stuck. We are stuck in it.
Yeah.
And all these things we are talking about today, this will be a recurring conversation. It will never end. It will never end.
Well, it has been recurring. And
but it's high time it comes to an end. Like I've said, take your IDs. Let's try first with votes. If we fail with votes, we'll try another system. But they will have to kill us all. They will have to kill us all.
I don't want to die.
We die for a good cause. I rather die and my kids celebrate rather than staying in a miserable place.
Die. How will you get kids?
How will I get kids?
If you're dead.
If I'm dead, I have to make kids in between now and 2027. I have to make as many kids as possible for them to enjoy now.
And let's do it. And that is it on political participation.
Yeah.
You have a parting shot?
Yes.
Please.
Parting shot. Please mobilize more people. The youth mobilize more people. We have to change the system in 2027. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your cousins.
To tell their cousins.
Tell their cousins. Hopefully, I'll have gathered a lot of money. I will be paying transport for people from the hoods. Paying transport. My work is to pay for your transport.
To polling stations.
After the election, we won't win with the election. No election, we can't win this thing with election.
Fighting for the streets.
Yeah. Election is one step, which I am pretty sure we will never win. We won't win. Do you think we can win against Ruto? How? Where? When? So we are preparing for the aftermath of the election.
Yeah.
The aftermath will be very ugly.
But my prayer to all, let the 2007 election violence isirudi.
It won't be an election violence because it will be the citizens against the government.
It has to be that.
Yes, if they want, no, we don't want to fight fellow Kenyans.
We are not fighting fellow Kenyans.
No, it's the citizens against the government.
But remember, in as much as we do that, bado kutakuwa na wenye, they are still there.
wenye watalipwa.
Watalipwa too bad.
Na ndio tunasema please tell your cousins wasikufie shilingi 1,000 na usiwe mwenzako juu ya shilingi 1,000. Tukibadilisha hii nchi tutakuwa tunakula 1,000 kila siku. Imagine unakula 1,000 kila siku. Bado unataka kuua mwenzako juu ya 1,000, unaweza kula kila siku.
1,000 hata with this economy my dear.
Una get. So wewe kata hii 1,000 and we have to change this country. Whatever it takes. Great people have their history, the history of great people. Most of them have gone to jail.
Most of them have gone to jail. Because of their governments.
Because of what they stand for.
Exactly. The government pia. Is there any government that is always for the people?
It should be for the people.
It's for the people, by the people.
Yes, there are good governments for the people.
Give me an example. Okay, yeah, there are examples.
Luxembourg. You know that country?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Switzerland. You know that country? Just to mention a few.
I've just seen that Mali is now debt-free.
See? Yes, it is debt-free, but how is the system? Are they improving?
Well, they'll still improve. At least they have improved on one thing.
No?
I'm proud of them.
Kenya should be debt-free, you know.
It should. But we are drowning in debt. Drowning.
So that my parting shot is come 2027, let's mobilize and let's take back our country. Let's take back our freedom and kick these punies out of the system.
Amen to that.
Thank you.
Still again on the challenges that the youth in Kenya face today, last but not least, let's discuss corruption and inefficiency. How people pay to get jobs, and the people that pay to get jobs are not even efficient in skills needed for that job. So the people who are professionals and well qualified for the jobs, I know we have spoken about it, but we haven't discussed it. So let's discuss that.
Corruption.
Corruption
is like a disease. It's like a virus.
It's spreading it has spread.
It's in every aspect of life in Kenya. Si kwa polisi, si kwa shule, everywhere is corrupt. Everywhere.
I used to think that hapo kwa si kwa shule, it was a joke because how would you corrupt your way into school, primary or secondary? I thought it was jokes. It applies everywhere.
Everywhere. And I don't want Kenyans to fight corruption from the tail. Let's kick corruption from the head. Ukitaka kumuua nyoka unampiga kwa kichwa kwanza. Unaelewa?
Naelewa.
Ndio urudi kwa tail. Let's not focus on police officers taking bribe. Let's not focus on this petty corruptions. Mm-hmm. Let's first deal with the people on the top. Because if at the top it's strict, then the pipeline will be all okay. You get me?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's the only way of fighting corruption. And if we keep saying there's corruption, and we don't do anything about the system, the top side, corruption is a challenge that we will forever face.
Well, we have been
facing corruption. Us individually, we have that spirit of corruption in us. Hata wewe ukipatiwa sahi kazi, utakuwa corrupt.
Mimi? Okay, acha nipewe and then
find out. There's something deep inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Unaona? Juu ukitoka kama wewe ni maskini, pia bado utachekelea, utaambiwa watu wakiiba wao walikuwa wanafanya nini. Na hata ukiwa mzuri, my friend, wao watu wote unajaribu kupelekea hii ripoti wewe ni mzuri, they are corrupt. That's why it should start from the head. Ipigwe huko juu, irudi kikuja chini. By the time inakufikia wewe corrupt politician, ama wewe corrupt individual,
need a politician.
Sawa, corrupt politician, at least inafika kama iko kidogo. Rather than equate this, people go to the offices to be corrupt.
Yeah.
Politicians spend a lot of money because they know if they get into the office, they'll recover. But Kenyans elect leaders from their pocket muscles, not ideologies. And that's what affects us every single day in the parliament. These people don't advocate for what the citizens really need. They advocate for how much did I spend? And am I recovering it?
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
So this is a challenge that I think unless everybody dies in Kenya, we will tackle it.
We're not dying, but we have to tackle it.
Then the only way of tackling it is by coming out in 2027 and kick these people out.
We want to
But again, I have a problem with taking power. Will we be different? That's the question.
Yeah, that is also what I always question myself. Will we be different? Because even during this year's protest, tuliona, the people we expected to be different, walifika huko juu, what happened?
But I believe there are good people in the world.
There are.
Not people who want publicity. These are people who really are genuine with their intentions about people, about citizens. They are there. Maybe they are in the system or not. But there's no way of beating the system if you're not in the system. So the only people who can fight this saga, all this thing, and people who are already in the system. So we have to identify a few good people who are not tainted by corruption. We have to identify a few good people and mold them into being the leaders we want. That's the only way.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, I think this conversation will be so long. We won't finish it.
This is a very long conversation, given the challenges. Challenges si moja, si mbili, ni mingi sana. Thank you so much for joining us in today's discussion, the challenges that the youth of Kenya are facing today. Till next time, bye.
Adios, amigos.